Hello and Merry Christmas. I hope you're having a good time, or will be having a good time. Hopefully you're watching this not on Christmas Day. You're going to be watching this on Christmas Eve. But if you're watching it any other time, Merry Christmas. Hope you're well. Today I figured I'd just talk about kind of the top 5 Christmas games I have in my collection. Honourable mention goes to Blue Stinger. And by honourable, I mean I played it once and it wasn't around Christmas and I thought it was merely okay. But we are going to be talking very specifically about Christmas games or Christmas DLC that I just like. That I find fun, that I think are either festive or just happen to be set around Christmas for the final one, but we'll get to that. So, starting off, we have Cthulhu Saves Christmas by Zeboyd Games. Zeboyd, this is a pseudo-sequel to their game Cthulhu Saves the World. And by pseudo, I mean it's got one character. And from that game, which is Cthulhu himself and none of the original cast, which is fine. And we've never had a physical release of Cthulhu Saves the World from Limited Run. Get on with it. That would be great. Because I loved Cthulhu Saves the World back in the day. So naturally, when a couple Christmases ago, when Limited Run were like, hey, Cthulhu Saves Christmas, anybody? I went, yeah, 100%. I got quite a way through this game as well. It's just basically fighting the Christmas League of Evil, which involves stuff like Krampus and a bunch of other really stupid characters. Unfortunately, unlike the original, it's not like a traditional RPG. You send your characters out into the world to kind of fight. They fight for a bit, they come back, you do stuff around the town, and then, yeah. Very much reeks of something made in maybe a year. It's okay. It's not my favourite Christmas game. In that I've played it once, but having, you know, Baba Yaga-chan is always a bonus. And yeah, it's a strange little game. It's still got the humour from the original. I first played Cthulhu Saves the World on, oh god, what did I play that on? Xbox Indies. Xbox Indie Games on the 360. I saw it and I went, that looks interesting. I'm not a JRPG fan at all. Absolutely hate them. I hate turn-based combat with a passion, especially if it's menu-driven. Not so much if it's turn-based strategy. Big fan. But turn-based combat with a menu? No, thank you. God, my hair's coming out of the hat. You know, there. There we go. Better. We'll leave it like that. The combat is like this. And that's about, what, 50 missions you've just got through? 50 fights? Very nice. Very well done. Thank you very much. So, yeah, this kind of continues that. I still haven't finished this game, which is not good. Maybe I will. Maybe I will at some point down the line. I haven't played it for like 2 years. And maybe I should shove it into the console to make sure it still works, but I'm sure it's fine. Moving on. And this is a game you won't be expecting. Saints Row 4. Yeah. Saints Row 4. We unfortunately lost Volition this year, largely because they were pressured into making an extremely cringy and buggy and abhorrent mess. It doesn't help that their previous game had been Agents of Mayhem, which was also shit. But Saints Row 4, kind of the peak of them as a studio, at least by my standards. But why specifically Saints Row 4? It had a Christmas DLC based on the Terminator. Let that sink in. It has a Christmas DLC based on the Terminator, voiced by Jane Austen, or narrated by Jane Austen, who then turns out to be a member of the Saints right at the end of it, which is just delightful. It's just the sheer level of insanity that Saints Row used to be. And I think it's such a shame that they've now gone down the toilet because the new one was fucking cringe. It was so much cringe. I bought that DLC about well over 10 years ago, and that unfortunately was the last time I actually played it. But it really sticks in my mind of having just a complete drug-fueled insanity to it that is oh so wonderful. It's just completely and utterly insane. In all the best ways that Saints Row was. I'm still annoyed over the fact I can't romance Keith David. Still bitter. Thank you for that, Volition. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you all find jobs around Christmas this year, especially considering all the layoffs in the industry. Not good for anybody. But Saints Row 4. You can pick this game up nowadays. It's on stuff like Switch. It's on stuff like PlayStation 4, Xbox One, if you want to talk to yourself with that console. It's on a lot of stuff, and it's pretty cheap. Has all the DLC. I'm going to probably pick it up for the Switch, because I really want to play that game again. In fact, I might play this game again. I think I have the DLC still on my 360, so that might be viable. If it isn't, I'll just buy it again after Christmas, because hopefully we get games for Christmas. Anyway, moving on. The thumbnail. The thumbnail is probably the single most obvious Christmas game, and that is Nights. Or specifically, Christmas Nights. Christmas Nights into Dreams. A sort of expansion CD for the original game. I've played the original game. I've got the original game. Played it a fair number of times over my life. I am freaking terrible at Nights. I am dreadful at it. So, when I had done a Christmas one, kind of had to go for it. Kind of had to pick it up. I think it's a delightful little game. It's short. It is short. That's kind of unfortunately the two things about a lot of these three Christmas games. They're short as balls. It's kind of the same with the next one. The next one's short as balls as well. But Christmas Nights has a couple of special things about it. Number one, it was kind of the last time we got a real Nights game, because we did get Nights Journey of Dreams for the Wii, but it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same. The gameplay's similar, but there's a lot of changing, there's a lot of chopping, there's adding in a Chow Garden, or at least the Chow Garden equivalent of, and it's shit. No, it's fine, but that might be a video. Actually, that might be a video. There might be a video there. Chowish Gardens. Maybe I will just call it Chowish Gardens. But Christmas Nights had a couple of other secrets. Number one, on April Fool's Day, if you plop the game in, you can play as Rayala, I think his name is. Rayala is how do I describe him? The shadow of the Night series, like the Shadow the Hedgehog, the kind of rival character, the Vegeta. He's the Vegeta. And yeah, I don't know too much about Nights. I'm pretty bad at Nights. I can't get too far into it without dying horribly. Even on the 360 port, which is kind of my first interaction with that game. Then I bought... Can I find you with one grab? I can. I bought the CD case version because it came with the 3D controller. Just didn't unfortunately come with the 3D box to bloody pop it in. And I do want the long box version, but that's probably a little too expensive. The other little secret for Christmas Nights, though, is it is the first 3D appearance, or more accurately, the first instance of Sonic being playable in a 3D space. Shortly after this, I think Sonic Jam doesn't say 1995. So yeah, bloody hell, Christ. I think Sonic Jam came out the following year. Let me just check. Sonic Jam. 97. So by 2 years, this predated Sonic Jam. This predated Sonic Adventure by about 3. So that's quite insane. Literally the first time. I think they because for the Xbox port, they added in Christmas nights. If you set it to Christmas, it turns into Christmas nights. And I think they removed the ability to play as Sonic for some completely asinine reason. But yeah, that's it. That was Sonic's first 3D appearance. It's kind of like how Sonic's first actual appearance was as a keychain in a old first-person Sega racing game that I don't really remember the name of. It wasn't Outrun. And it wasn't... I can't think of another Sega franchise. Like a Sega racing franchise that isn't Crazy Taxi, and that's not a racing franchise. But yeah, moving on. Christmas Nights is a good game. Check it out. Somehow. If you can. So, this one I have history with. This one I have a lot of history with. For different reasons. Death Smiles 1 and 2. Specifically, Death Smiles 2, Makai no Christmas. Makai no Christmas. Makai no Christmas is a bullet hell shooter by Cave. Released, a very long time ago. Very long time ago for the 360 in Japan and I believe the arcade. Bullet hell shooter is obviously you play as a sprite, as in a sprite-based character. There's a lot of bullets. You dodge the bullets and shoot out your own gargantuan streams of death and just carve your way through various things. Death Smiles, I've had a strong fascination with for quite some time, and I think a big part of it is because it's very gothic. It's very gothic, and it reminds me substantially, strangely enough, of Raven from Teen Titans. Just like overpowered magical girls with kind of cool gothic Victorian clothing. Just looks good. It's a very solid franchise. It's a very cool game. I'm a big fan of Death Smiles, specifically the first one. So, when I heard there was a second one, I was like, brilliant! We got an English release, and it took forever. Like, literally years. I was waiting for this for about... Well, it mentions Connect on the back, so that should tell you everything you need to know. It came out towards the latter end of the 360's life cycle, but I found out Makai no Christmas or Death Smiles 2 exists. Brilliant! When can I get it? Where can I get it? Oh. It's never coming out in Europe. Ever. And it never did. It never came out physically in the West. It didn't even come out translated in the West. Cave just went, meh. We'll take the Japanese ROM, we'll dump it on the American Xbox 360 marketplace, and people can buy it there if they want to fucking play it. Which is dumb. Because it's a very solid game. I don't like it as much as the original. That's twofold. Number one, I think the new characters are kind of boring. Even if you do have a little assistant flyer with one of them and the little assistant flyer is called the Ghost of Tyranno Satan. Yes. But this is also coming from a game where the main antagonist is Satan Claus, who is a fat, demonic Santa with crosses everywhere and a big dumb witch hat. And, it's as bizarre as you think. You fight through a carnival, which is just his face and giant versions of himself as well. And it's just absolutely, absolutely bizarre. Then right at the end, you get to, depending on who you're playing, you get you can either have a Merry Christmas with the kind of grandfatherly figure, or you can and he'll give you a present, or you can say, oh, I don't need one, I've got you. And that's nice and it's sweet. I did get Japanned pretty badly with one of them, particularly my favourite character to play as, because she uses death magic, which sounds very cool. And then I got Japanned pretty heavily, and I won't go into why. You can look it up for yourself. But you can imagine my excitement when they announced Death Smiles 1 and 2 was coming out. This is the strictly limited version, which, I'm going to be honest with you, is completely the same as pretty much any other version, except it came with a manual, which is always nice, and it came with a, and it came with a postcard. That's kind of it. Not a bad Christmas game. Not my favourite, though. My favourite is the Die Hard of Christmas games, in that it just happens to be set at Christmas and has nothing else to do with it. Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 is set around Christmas. It opens with Bayonetta going shopping with Enzo, who is this kind of fat little Italian guy, who goes, forget about it, at pretty much any opportunity. Yeah. So he has to nip. He's sort of helping Bayonetta carry her presents for the season. Then you get attacked by demons and angels, and you kick a fighter jet because he's trying to pick up a toy fighter jet, and fate is not kind to Enzo. But that's what you get for mixing in with demons and witches. But yeah. Bayonetta 2 is flat out my favourite in the series. I am going to do a Bayonetta video down the line, just kind of talking about the franchise. I'm going to be doing that after I pick up one particular item I have really desperately wanted for a few years now, and that is the full set of Scarborough Fair, which is Bayonetta's original guns. So she has guns on her feet as well as in her hands, as you may have noticed when you're not focusing on her ass. But the fact it's completely set around Christmas and you finish the game and it kind of goes back to being about shopping for Christmas, it's just wonderful. It really, when I say the Die Hard of Christmas games, it is. It really is completely superficial, the fact it's set around Christmas. Like, the other ones have a very strong visual connection to the holiday, not so much like the spirit of it, but certainly a very strong visual connection, be it the use of decorations, be it the use of Santa Claus as an antagonist, be it the for two of them, weirdly enough, be it fighting the League of Christmas Evil. Yeah. Bayonetta 2, on the other hand, is so tangentially superficial that I genuinely debated not including it, but, you know, I don't care. It's my video, it's my channel, and Bayonetta 2 is my favourite Christmas game, because it is just so goddamn good. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully, I'll have Here's an idea. Go and watch the Happy Console Gamer Christmas special. I've been watching that guy for 11 years. I've been watching that guy for 11 years. And very recently, on the time I'm filming this, I binged every single one. He and his friend Rob Man, who I'm friends with on Facebook, real nice guy, just kind of get together, exchange presents, talk about memories, and talk about Christmas, and it's just genuinely wonderful. I'll tag him in the comments. I'll tag him below, and go watch them. Go watch the playlist. It's just such a wonderful tradition, and he's been a huge inspiration to this channel. Same with Rob Man, huge inspiration for this channel, huge inspiration for a lot of the things I do, and not so much my tastes in games. That's all me. But yeah, have a great Christmas. And have a wonderful new year. We're probably going to do a Myst video in the new year once I can track down all my Myst games, because there are a number, and I think I'm missing Myst 5, which is great. But yeah, that'll be the next video. That'll be the first one in the new year. And I will see you then. Have a wonderful Christmas and a Merry New Year.